I think that this is the most underwhelming Part 1 anniversary character ever.
What a statement! Yo, what is up, everyone, and welcome back to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video with your host, Kenkukun. And we're going to copy this link, right? I'm going to make sure I put this link into the description below, right? So if you want to watch the full video of Datruth, you probably already have, and maybe you've seen mine. I'm here to talk about it. All right, so part of this video is going to be talking about his run. The other part of the video is going to be talking about the unit, right? So we're going to start with his run. This whole video came down to someone saying that he was using the character wrong. All right, there's a tweet somewhere. There it is. All right, so the Datruth DT, right? I know my camera's in the way a little bit. Let me pull it down. Well, you can see it literally right there. That's proof he's being used like ass, right? So the context here is Datruth ran a run of against Goku and Frieza. I need to find somewhere. Get my controller. There we go. he ran against Goku and Frieza with the new STR Vegeta, a team, right? He built a team with him, and he got one singular super attack that whole fight. And then someone said, well, he probably ran him like ass, like he doesn't know how to play and use the character. So there's a couple of claims that Truth makes. All right. First and foremost, on turn 1, he has Vegeta, Goku, and Tech UI. Vegeta, AGL UI, and Tech UI on the first rotation. And the very first declaration he makes is Tech UI, there in no universe can Tech UI get floated away and not be here turn 5 with his domain ready. And he asks, hey, does everyone agree? Disagree. Why? Because the team that he has built, which is these three, AGL Jiren, and the two LRs from Universe 7, the Universe 7 team LR, the Int, which if you look, you can see him down here, and then the physical 17 and Frieza, right? That's his team. Because AGL UI has a revive, AGL Jiren has a standby, and Tech UI has a domain. There are 3 possible ways we can get through at least the first turn of Goku and Frieza without Tech UI needing to be the very first and foremost thing on turn 5. Now, it's all RNG. There's no guarantee that if we float, if this was me and I said, well, I'm going to float Tech UI, or I'm going to put him in slot 2 so Vegeta can get more hits in from slot 1, there's no guarantee that Tech UI gets locked the next time we see him in slot 3 and we can't, he floats. And there's no guarantee that we win or lose, right? Whether or not we keep Tech UI around or float him. Later on, it's very clear that we could float him, but that's besides the point. My point is that with his team, it is not definitively a run ender that if he doesn't have Tech UI on turn 5, he loses. I don't agree with that. I will agree, though, the whole point of Tech UI is for that phase, so if you have him on the team, there's no real good reason to not keep him around as often as possible. That's a statement I can get behind. That's a statement I can get behind. I will not get behind. It's definitively everyone can agree. Nope. Disagree. Because I don't even have the character, so I always have to fight without dodging that dude. All right? I used him for the one mission, and that was it. All right, so that's one of the claims he makes. All right? And this is all going to tie back into STR Vegeta, right? We're gonna come all the way back to STR Vegeta. He claims STR Vegeta is a slot 2 character. He states it as he's a slot 2 character. He states it numerous times. He is a slot 2 or slot 3 character. Nowhere in his kit does it say he's confined to slot 2. All right? I don't care that he needs super attacks to build up. That plays a small role in his kit. And again, I'm going to explain more of that later. All right? So for him to say that he's a slot 2 character and not a slot 2 or slot 3, he's boxing himself in to a horrible position. All right? He boxes himself into a horrible position, and I'm going to explain that as well, in the video. All right? And this won't be a long video. It won't need to be a long video. So he makes that claim, right? And he says it multiple times, right? And pretty much throughout all of this fight, he's at the point where Vegeta just doesn't get to attack because everyone else is dealing damage and killing the bosses out of slot 1. Right? and I want this to be clear for everyone, right? That's proof he's being used like ass. This guy couldn't be more wrong. All right. Vegeta was I think Truth I think he played it well. I don't think he made like incorrect choices, right? Incorrect, right? Because there's many ways he could have played that, right? He could have floated Tech UI off right away. He could float Tech UI at a later time where it was very clear right here. It's very clear that he's going to revive with AGL UI next turn, or he's just going to be dead right here because they're locked in slot 1. One or the other was happening. It doesn't matter which, right? But if he makes it through this turn, he's going to guarantee revive with Tech UI. Tech UI dodged 0 attacks. It's going in turn 3 to turn 4. Tech UI has dodged 0 attacks. He's going to revive, right? And then you'll have Jiren on this rotation to go into standby into slot 1. Go Frieza in 17. Then you could have Tech UI. So it's even more crystal clear right here. Tech UI is not absolutely completely necessary to survive Frieza in 17. So if he wanted to have Vegeta build up, he could have put him in slot 2. He states, should he baby Vegeta over Tech UI? And I would say no. The whole reason of Tech UI is to have his domain up to make it easier in the 17 and Golden Frieza phase. However, again, Tech UI is not the end-all be-all answer for this team. Absolutely not. All right, and after that point, it just comes down to Vegeta never gets a chance to super attack because one rotation, he gets supered before he gets to attack and we have to revive. And then after that, the bosses are so weak, these slot 1 characters are defeating the bosses, right? So everybody needs to understand, and this dude on Twitter as well, Truth, everyone, the Goku Frieza fight is old. It's not built for these characters. These characters weren't built with them in mind. So yes, Vegeta's going to underperform. Oh, my Vegeta didn't build up all the way. Did you run out of the first 5 turns of damage reduction? If no, then I think you did pretty well to get through the fight that fast. If yes, and you still didn't have the damage reduction, something's wrong. And I'll tell you what's wrong here. The bosses don't have enough health. You want to use these new characters? You want to use some of these Easy A characters that have come out in, since the worldwide download celebration? You don't run this event, and say, oh, I built up my character fully. No. You run the new stuff. Goku and Vegeta red zones. Well, they don't hit hard. Some of them do. Well, you can stun them. And they were built for these characters in mind, right? So I think everyone right here needs to understand that Vegeta was not built for this. So I think Vegeta's about to get downplayed really hard. And we're going to segue off of, because I don't think Truth played it wrong, but we're going to segue into why I think Truth boxed himself in, all right? Sometimes Truth will build teams poorly. That's it. That's the statement. He builds his team into a horrible corner. This is one of those times. It's not often, but it happens. And it just so happened that today I was like, I should put out a video. And he dropped the video for me to comment on. So here we are. All right. Everything below the B line, these are just characters that came out in 2024, Universal Survival Saga. Everything below here, you're running with items, you're running with items, or they have very specific conditions to make them even usable on the team. So on and so forth. They want specific slots, they need characters next to them, whatever. They have far more restrictions to them than everything above. Everything above is probably your team, right? Now, real quick, this Boo is just the friend leader. I just grabbed him. He's the friend leader. All right. So let me fix this tier list, right? This is the tier list. This is turn 1 slot 1 characters. All right. Now you can argue this guy as long as he's dodging, but Tech UI at least has guard, so he has a little bit more leeway. You want to not favor this guy? This is your slot 1 turn 1 characters. You got 2. Not a big selection. So, we kind of got to hope we get the dodges in here, maybe hope we get the dodges in here. All right. The reason why Truth boxed himself into a corner because this guy came out and he's slot 2, and Truth is like, he'll preach it all day long. He's slot 2. We can't put them together. They'll never link. He's slot 3. I think they designed this guy in mind with slot 3. Let me put these guys together the way I had it a moment ago. This is a slot after turn 1, he's slot 1. Right? This is the other leader, and then this is the 7th character. This is the one. You could choose any one of these, but if you had a choice, it probably this is the best choice, right? So you have a revive character, dodge. A revive character, pretty tanky. A dodge character that cancels dodge mechanics, right? You have a character that can't die after turn 1 for most of the fight. And then you have the leaders, and then you have this guy, which can be slot 2 or slot 3. You could run him in slot 2. The fact that this guy would be slot 3 and this guy slot 3, right? The leaders are slot 3 and slot 3. This is why I think Vegeta's about to get hated on hard. I think they designed this guy in mind with like this in mind. They sat down and they knew these are the characters that are getting easy aid, that are releasing all this good stuff. These are their kits. How do we design Vegeta? Well, we got a lot of slot 1 possibilities here, right? Through these, we have a lot of slot 1 options here. Some are better than others, while others are not. And we have slot 2s and slot 3s. Instead of giving us another slot 1, which it would be more fun. It would be more fun. I'm not here to say I do agree he is the worst Part 1 anniversary character. I can definitively, I could state it very confidently since the 4th anniversary, right? That's when I was there for the 4th anniversary. He can't go slot 1. Everybody else can go slot 1 but him. He can never really go slot 1 unless the boss doesn't attack first. That means he's just gonna be the weakest one. So yeah, definitively he's worse. But this is not like the Black Plague, all right? We're not out here fighting the plague. All right. So they designed this guy. I think he's far better in slot 3, right? He's far better in slot 3, and you're going to run these guys in slots 1 and 2. This guy, especially, usually you float him. Now, you're just going to have 2-turn support. You're going to have same turn support, right? I think they designed... Oh, Honkai Star Rail. I think they designed this guy in with the rest of the team around him in mind. And this is a very fun... You take him out, bam. You got your 3 floaters. Bam, you got 3 floaters. Bam, you got 3 floaters. I don't have Topo. I can't really speak on him. You don't want him to get hit as often. And bam, as long as the fight's not too long. And this guy, if the fights are going to be long, he's on his way out the door. He is right there on his way out of the door, right? He's there. This is it. I think this is the door. They're kicking him out. If some of the events are long, but it's them. I think this guy's about to be hated on unjustly. I think people are out here like if you're sitting here like Truth and you're saying, oh well, they don't link, so I can't run in Evolution Blue Vegeta. I think you're wrong. In Evolution Blue Vegeta is far more valuable than SCR Vegeta is. Number 1, because of slot 1. Number 2, the revive. Right. That's it. Those are the 2 things. I don't need to say much more about that. And even if you don't run them in slot 1, slot 1, slot 1, slot 1, slot 2. Right, or slot 3, right? You can start floating all the Vegetas. Bam. Now these are your 4 that are just chilling, right? In your slot 1s and slot 2s. That's it. Those are my thoughts. I think as far as Truth's video goes, I don't think he played it poorly, but I definitely think the definitive answer to that run was not Tech UI. Not even close. All right, and it became even more apparent when he paused and brought it up a second time, right? I did agree that he should not baby Vegeta over Tech UI. Tech UI is more valuable, but I disagree that he's just a slot 2 character. No, I think his value on his own team is slot 3. That doesn't sound fun, and I'm not saying it is fun, but I'm saying it is what it is, right? You could run him in slot 2, but now, you don't cry that you're not running in Evolution Blue Vegeta. Don't you cry. You are choosing to do that. You are putting yourself in a worse position. Again, sometimes Truth will make decisions that don't make sense, and he thinks it's the only way to do it. This is one of those rare times where I would say he's building his team, and it's just because they don't link, he doesn't want to run them. That's his fault. Not the game's fault. It's not the RNG's fault. whether or not Vegeta could get his revive off or get cooked in the Frieza and 17 phase is not as relevant as you're just taking one of your strongest characters and not running them on the team. Where he could potentially be slot 1, these guys, you know, are lucky to get slot 1, right? These four, the 2 leaders and then these 2. They're lucky to get slot 1. Super lucky. Extremely lucky, right? So, anyway, that's my thoughts. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this. I predict that S tier Vegeta is going to be underrated or overhated. Probably overhated. I think he's going to be overhated. I think he was designed in a way that works. Maybe we're not going to see a lot of Universal Survival Saga characters, so they like, let's give him a really cool slot 3 character, a better leader skill, right, to kind of carry people through the first half of 2025 and or beyond. And that's kind of where he fell, right? And they felt like there was sufficient slot 1s and slot 2, especially slot 1 characters on the team. Remember, they designed these characters with items in mind, not no items. They're not designing these things with no items in mind. That's not how they're doing the game. Although they have missions for no items, usually it's on the weaker scale of events, all right? You can't even use that as an argument. I'm out of here. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Enjoy your night, evening, morning, whatever it may be. Peace out. And I will see you guys next time.